There might be no better sound than an organ. Isn't it just the coolest instrument?
I've never been able to hear that live, but that's
incredible.
in our town, guys.
Powerful pipes. And I'm not talking about our pipes. Much more powerful than that. Good morning to everyone. Glad you're with us on this Friday. I'm Eric Connors.
And I'm Netta Irampur. It feels like a Friday right now. It does. Having a good time this morning. So hopefully you are as well. 6 a.m. and it is chilly. So if you are going to head outside right now, I will warn you, a jacket, big puffy one, probably a good idea, especially in Ramona, 39 degrees, 34 in Julian, 31 in Mount Laguna. Below freezing across our mountains. We're not seeing much moisture, so unfortunately it's not leading to much snow, but Palomar Mountain, you're getting a little bit. So that's quite a temperature drop right there. That's that 24-hour temperature change. As we check in on traffic, thankfully right now, no major slowdowns or incidents. All you're seeing is that right there. That big blob of yellow indicates fog. So Ramona, Julian, that stretch of road, that's going to be a foggy commute for you. Well, the Omicron variant of COVID-19 is now here in San Diego County. Health officials confirmed one person has tested positive.
The patient recently traveled overseas. They were fully vaccinated and boosted, and they are recovering at home. Infectious disease specialist Dr. Mark Sawyer says so far, data shows the Omicron variant only causes mild symptoms in fully vaccinated people.
The vaccines work really well at keeping people from getting sick and getting put in the hospital. They don't work so well at preventing all infection. And so unfortunately, people can still get infected. They probably get infected less frequently. That's certainly the case with Delta.
Dr. Sawyer says vaccines, booster shots, and masks indoors are still the best ways to protect against COVID regardless of the variant.
Well, the CDC is recommending Americans as young as 16 to get a COVID booster shot. This comes after the FDA authorized Pfizer's third dose for 16 and 17-year-olds. Just like adults, teens are eligible for a booster 6 months after they've had their second dose. It's the first COVID-19 booster that's been authorized for that age group. Not clear if younger teens will, in fact, need one. Well, today marks a big vote over a $160 billion plan to charge San Diegans for using our roads.
San Diego is going full speed ahead with this vote here. News 8's Evan Ronnie is live in Normal Heights with why there are new calls to put the brakes on the whole plan. Evan?
Yeah, good morning. That's right. The calls to pump the brakes on this are mainly centered around that 4-cent per mile tax that San Diego residents could incur once this plan moves forward. But SanDag continues to reiterate that today they are voting on the regional plan itself, that no taxes will be added on to the public, and that will be saved for a special vote, likely up to voters themselves in the near future. But of course, the big conversation around this regional plan, this blueprint per se, is $160 billion in changes to infrastructure and public transportation that could then lead to that 4-cent per mile tax that many San Diegans are talking about.
Technology is the future. We should embrace technology and future transportation solutions, not buses and trains of the past.
At this point in time, we are not asking anybody to pay a tax. There's a lot of fear-mongering going on that's taking what's a plan and associating that with some specific tax measure.
So as you heard there, although SanDag will vote on the regional plan at today's board meeting, they say they are not voting on or approving any new taxes. They'll leave that part up to voters, and the earliest that could happen is 2030. That means the 4-cent per mile tax and the 2.5-cent regional sales tax will not be approved today. These are just ideas to fund the regional plan that they will be voting on. There have been several members of SanDag that have voiced opposition and said that they're uncomfortable with the tax ideas. There's also an argument that the tax could put SanDag in legal trouble, partially because of the burden that it would place then on certain communities. Now, SanDag continues to stress that this $160 billion plan is necessary to support our infrastructure as well as public transportation. The people who are opposed to that 4-cent per mile tax say there is already high enough taxes as far as gas prices go, and of course just the income tax to Californians, and that the money that SanDag is already receiving should be reallocated in order to afford whatever changes they want to provide. But that 4-cent per mile tax is too much for California residents and for San Diego residents specifically to incur, along with what they're already paying. I'll send things back to you in the studio for now.
Evan, thanks for that. The debate over redistricting in San Diego County will continue. Those against proposed district lines packed a meeting last night voicing their concerns on this. Discussions went late into the evening. Many represented the Chaldean community. They say moving the district lines so that El Cajon is no longer in the East County would break up their community and dilute their voting power.
It took us 50 years to finally build a home away from home. So please don't take away what we have left of our culture, but instead help us to continue building our future.
We're still waiting a decision on the maps. The next meeting on the issue is Tuesday.
This morning, jury deliberations will resume in the case of a former La Mesa police officer charged with falsifying a police report. Matthew Degas is accused of lying about what happened during the arrest of Omari Johnson near the Grossmont Trolley Station, May of 2020. Now, that arrest sparked outrage and protests. Degas faces up to 3 years in prison if he is convicted. The former owner of this television station has been sentenced now in the college admissions scandal. We've been following this very closely. Elizabeth Kimmel will be going to prison for 6 weeks. She paid more than $500,000 to get her children into Georgetown and USC. She pleaded guilty earlier this year to a federal charge of conspiracy to commit mail and wire fraud. Kimmel's defense team argued she was taken in by a fraudulent scheme, but prosecutors showed she knew what was going on and tried to cover her tracks.
Just because you've been given a lot and you are privileged, quote unquote, doesn't mean you can sort of overstep and take advantage of other people and jump to the head of the line.
So Kimmel has to self-surrender after the holidays. On January 12th is that date. She also received 12 months of home confinement, 2 years probation, a $250,000 fine, and 500 hours of community service.
Iconic Mexican actress Carmen Salinas has died. Her family says she died in Mexico City, where she was reportedly in a coma after suffering a stroke. Salinas had over 6 decades of experience in Mexican television and films. She's been in over 100 movies, including Man on Fire with Denzel Washington and Dakota Fanning. Salinas was 82 years old. Recently retired NFL star Demaryius Thomas has died at the age of 33. Police in Roswell, Georgia say he was found dead in his home from a, quote, medical issue. Thomas earned 5 straight trips to the Pro Bowl and a Super Bowl ring during his career, mostly with the Denver Broncos. I watched many catches from Peyton Manning to him over the years when I was in Denver. He was a great player. He would have turned 34 years old on Christmas. Senator Bob Dole's funeral will take place today at the Washington National Cathedral. Tomorrow, a final farewell service will be held in his home state of Kansas. Yesterday, the president, the vice president, and congressional leaders gathered to pay tribute to the life and legacy of Senator Dole. Dole died Sunday at the age of 98 after announcing he had been diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. And we will have coverage of the funeral service live starting at 8 a.m. on our sister station, the CW San Diego. It is Friday. It's the end of the week here, and the rain kind of just ending in time for our weekend plans, right?
Yes, it's timing out just right. You can do whatever you want to do outside, you know, play at the park, you know, things like that. When you have a toddler, that's like exciting for us. But I will say, you know, temperatures will still feel cool. So you'll still need that sweater or that jacket, especially this morning. I mean, we have quite a chill going on. The view at Cardiff State Beach kind of looks a little gray. We do have a bit of cloud coverage just off the distance there over the coastline. So that's, you know, pretty typical for us, but a lot of San Diego right now, you are waking up to clear, crisp conditions. Here's an area where I'm still noticing a little bit of green showing up on our satellite radar. The sweeping radar right here basically updates us on any chances of rain that we're starting to see, and it does look like just a few little spots here and there of the remnants of yesterday's rain. Right here, Palomar Mountain, hey, look at that, a little bit of snow, so it is below freezing across those higher elevations, and yeah, any moisture turns to snow when it's that cold. So right now, visibility, this also may be an issue in some spots. El Cajon and Ramona, your visibility is down to just about a half mile for Oceanside. So some areas you are very clear and cold. Other areas it's pretty foggy. Temperatures drop down to that dew point, and that's why you're seeing that fog in those inland spots. 50 degrees right now for downtown San Diego, and then 40s for El Cajon, 46 there, 44 in Alpine, 46 in Poway, 40 in Ramona. Look at this. I mean, that is cold. 31 in Mount Laguna, 34 in Julian. A big change compared to 24 hours ago, but this afternoon we will warm up. up. Not too much, I will say. We're going to just reach the low 60s. That's mainly for all of San Diego, from the coast to inland valleys. That's all we're really going to get to. When it comes to traffic, just saw this pop up right there in Santee. So I will look into that and figure out what's going on, but hopefully it won't affect your commute too much. And then what will affect a lot of people's drive if you're headed this way through Ramona into Julian along the 78, that's that fog that has formed because it is cold enough right there that we're seeing that pocket of fog. So just take it slow. No need to rush through it all.